My next guest is the newest member of the UFC's bantamweight roster. He's going to be taking on Ray Borg at UFC Fight Night on August 1st. It is Nathan Maness joining me here on the program for the very first time. Nathan, how's it going?
Everything's going good, man.
Yeah, and congratulations on getting the UFC call. We were just talking off air. You know, you're a guy that's been really grinding on the regional scene and picked up some really big wins. Was this something you were expecting?
Man, I've kind of been expecting it, I would say a couple of years now. You know, if I get this win, I think I'm going to get the call, and I'd wait. And if you get this win, I think I'm going to get the call. And, it's just never panned out for me. You know, it's Pat, my manager, actually described it as winning the lottery. You know, you just don't know who they're going to need, when they're going to need it. So I'm glad it's finally worked out.
Well, me too, because again, you were a guy that was on the regional scene for a while. Your record's great. You've got some good wins. So I know there's a lot of politics involved in the UFC when it comes to getting signed. So glad to see that your manager, Pat Wilson, was able to make this happen. When did you put pen to paper? At the time we're recording this, what is it? July 17th. So when did you actually sign everything?
I signed the contract last night.
Okay, awesome.
I found out Pat sent me, he got an email yesterday morning and he'd called me 10 or 11 times. I was actually at work, so I got the news on my lunch break, made the day a little easier.
No, I bet. That's great. What do you do for work for those who might not know?
I work in roofing, construction, so it's been hot.
Yeah, no, I bet, especially this time of year. Do you get any time off leading into the fight, or do you just still have to work next week?
I talked to my boss. He's going to work with me. So, with it being short notice and things like that, I'm going to have all this time just to focus on training, getting my weight under control, and just be ready to fight.
Now, you mentioned signing the UFC contract. Did you also sign the fight with Borg yet, or is that still being worked out?
Yes, I've signed everything. All the paperwork is in. We're ready to go.
Good to hear. Really, really awesome fight. I got to know, who's the first person you told? I mean, this is really big news, big milestone in your career.
I called my wife. She was actually at work. I'm surprised she answered, but I almost got a couple of tears out of her. So it was exciting.
That's good. Was there a point you thought this might not happen? Again, I mentioned the politics. I mean, you got a good record, but you just never know with the UFC, right? Because especially with COVID coming into play this year, was there any doubt in your head? Yeah, man.
It's funny that I got the news a week ago. I posted to my Facebook. I was having some frustrations. I'd been working really long hours and, things just weren't seeming to work out for me. And, you kind of contemplate, you don't want to retire, but you think about it, it's hard and you don't feel like everything you're doing is paying off. And a week later, man, I get the call. So I guess you got to be a little dramatic sometimes for things to happen.
Yes, no, absolutely. It's funny. There's a few fighters I've talked to that have had similar situations where they're like, I think this, I don't know what's going to happen. And then they end up getting signed. So maybe that's a universe sort of working in your favor there. I talked about COVID-19. How has that impacted not only your work, but also with training camp and everything too?
It's been different. The gym's been shut down. It's just now opened back up maybe 6 weeks ago. So we're getting good work in now, plenty of time. And, we're going to be ready for it. Nothing's going to stand in our way now,
Is it safe to say maybe your cardio is a little bit better? I know when a lot of fighters couldn't go to the gym, they were just, go for runs because that's, you're 6 feet, you're running away from people. So do you feel like your cardio might be a little bit better for this fight?
Yeah, I feel good, man. And plus with work, it's a really physical job. It's in the heat. There's really no breaks. So, I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. I think it's perfect for a short notice. I can step in and do some work.
Yeah, because you've been fighting for a while. Like, it's not like you don't know how to fight, right? So I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, you didn't get a proper camp. But, you know how to fight. It's more of a matter of getting to work with the training partners and being in shape, right? At this stage of your career.
Yeah, I would think it's just about being in shape. I'm going to have about 2 weeks before I fly down, maybe a week and a half. I can get sharp in a week and a half, hitting mitts and sparring, getting some rounds, and you can get sharp, but the cardio is the main thing.
So let's talk about Ray Borg. Pretty notable guy, fought for a UFC title. Everyone knows who Ray Borg is. Your excitement level first on getting him as an opponent to start things off, because it's a big name to welcome you to the UFC.
Oh, man, I love it, to be honest with you. There's really no lose here. You know what I mean? I'm going to go in there and I'm going to give it my best shot. I think I can beat the guy. I think I match up well with him. I've read a little bit. I haven't watched a ton of his stuff just yet. We're going to do that later tonight at training. But he's 63-inch reach, 5'4". I'm a pretty big 35. I got 72-inch reach, 5'10". I'm going to have some length on him. And I think I just got to use those things to my advantage. And I think it's going to be a fun fight.
And that was one of the things that kind of surprised me about this matchup is that Borg had trouble in his last fight with a much bigger bantamweight in Ricky Simone, and you're a big bantamweight as well. Like, Borg used to fight at flyweight. How much of an advantage is that for you in the fight, do you think? Because you use your reach and height very well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a huge advantage, man. Like I said, I really like the matchup. There's not too many guys that are my height and my length and size at 135. I think it's going to work out for me, man. I think we're going to go and we're going to be able to push the pace with him. I don't think he's going to run us into the ground. And it's going to be hard to catch up to me and get me with my length. So.
Who have been some of the training partners you have been able to work with leading into this sort of short notice fight?
I've actually been cross training a little bit at another gym. I've been working with Bobby Emmons. He's a black belt EBI contestant. David Overfield, another black belt. All their guys at Nice Guy Submission Fighting. And, of course, I have my home gym, Tag MMA in Morganfield, Kentucky. I have my coach, Brad, for 10 years. We're always working. Josh Stanley, Bradley McGarr, all these guys, Jacob Cleverdence. I got a good team around me.
Now, Borg may wait for his last fight at 135, but he has missed before, even at 135, despite being a former flyweight. Is that something that's crossed your mind at all in this fight, or are you not even worried about it?
Man, he can come in at 155 if he wants. I like all that purse. I'm trying to get paid, too. He can come in at whatever weight he wants.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. And how's your weight going? I mean, you're roofing all day. I'm sure the pounds are just sweating off just from doing a regular day's work.
Yeah, man, I'm walking around anywhere from 150 to 155. I was 153 this morning, so I'm going to start just etching it down a little bit, get it within range to make the water cut. So, I mean, it's no worries, man. It's easy.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, by the sounds of it, I mean, this isn't going to be in Abu Dhabi. This will be a fight, potentially, I would think, in Vegas. Have you been told a location yet? Because it seems like they're still figuring that out.
Only person I've heard from Pat, and he's saying it looks like Vegas. So,
yeah,
I'm
that's
actually
way easier than all the travel, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's excited about Fight Island. I'd rather, a couple hours to Vegas and let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. You can take that vacation later as far as that goes for your debut and everything. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight? That was one of the things I was curious about.
I have two down for sure. I'm not set on a third if we're going to have that or not. But Aaron Houston, who's my uncle, he's been in almost all of my fights. I think he might have missed one or two. And Brad Cummings, my longtime coach at Tag MMA for 10 years, he's going to be there. And that's pretty much been the crew.
You're a finisher. That's one of the things we've seen in your career. How do you see this fight playing out on August 1st?
Man, I think I carry a lot of power for 35. I've knocked guys out at 45. I think if I catch him, man, I think it's going to be different. I know he hasn't really been finished in the UFC other than by DJ. So that's something I'm looking to do. I'm looking to throw hard. I'm looking to get in his face. And we're going to have a good time.
What about the timing of this? I mean, the bantamweight division, I don't think it's been any hotter than it's been right now. We just had Piotr Jan win the title last weekend. You've got all these big names in there like Aljamain Sterling and Marlon Moraes and Cody Garbrandt and everyone else. Like, do you feel like this is all kind of coming together at the right time?
Man, 135 is stacked right now. Of course, I watched the card with Jan and Aldo fighting. I mean, it's stacked, man, and it doesn't scare me. It doesn't intimidate me. It's exciting. It's just another name to add to that group. We're going to all get in there and mix it up with each other. I'm excited about it, man.
And I imagine you want to, if you come out unscathed, probably get a quick turnaround here just because you want to kind of make up for lost time a little bit, just having, difficulty getting fights. I know how it is on the regional scene. It's tough. Yeah,
definitely, man. We can turn it around here in the next couple of weeks. Win, lose, draw. I'm ready to go, man. I want to get some fights in, and I want to show them my worth.
Now, you're a busy guy, obviously, with the day job. You got a family, all that stuff. In terms of downtime, like any new hobbies during this quarantine? Have you been watching any TV or playing any video games? Anything new?
I mean, I'm always a big fan of NBA 2K. So
nice. Okay, who's your team?
I'm good at it, but I like to play, man. It gets under my skin, keeps me competitive. Basketball was my first love before fighting, so that's something I'm always going to be a part of.
Who's your team growing up? Who did you like watching as a basketball fan?
Oh, man, I like the Lakers quite a bit.
Okay.
So I would say the Lakers.
Okay, that's excellent. Is that the team you play in NBA 2K?
Yeah, usually. And I'm a LeBron fan, too, now, so it's just kind of all coming together.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Okay, so that's good. So, yeah, so you could even have had his old jersey, and it doesn't matter because you're a Lakers fan, right? So people can't be like, oh, he's on the Lakers now. But you're like, hey, I'm a Lakers fan, right? So
right. It just worked out for me, man. It happens sometimes.
Everything's working out for you, man. It's sounding really great. Well, Nathan, again, congratulations on getting the call. We're really looking forward to this fight. It's August 1st. It is UFC Fight Night. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors you want to plug, any social media you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Yeah, man, I got a list here. I'd like to thank God, first and foremost, man. He's given me the opportunity. I couldn't do this without him. My wife, Cassandra, she puts up with my weight cuts and training all the time, and it's not easy for anybody. My family, my coach, who's been with me for 10 years, like I said, man, he shows up every day to training just like I do. You know what I mean? He has a family and he sacrifices his time for me. My manager Pat for getting this deal done, man. I'm excited. And I'd like to just thank some sponsors, being in construction, Max Custom Completions, Bake Chiropractic, Sweeps Apparel, Eight Ethics, Team Lynn Expressway Ford, Great North Supplements, Merle Painting, M&M Residential Services. I appreciate all you guys.